Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video, and today we're going over a couple of topics that form the least pleasant parts of my gaming experience at present. I'm going to open with some of the Xbox One messages I've received in the past few months from playing Destiny and some Battlefield 1, but let me say this before I forget. Make sure you go to the comment section and tell me if you've received toxic messages online and what they were, because some of them can be hilarious. I want to know, and I'm sure other people want to know as well. So, let's get on with mine. Alright, here we go, shall we? We'll start at this one. I vaguely remember this one. So it just starts off with the simple, "You're so bad." At which point I tell him, you should grow up, etc. Blah blah blah. He then proceeds to call me a trash can. Then I point out that on his profile, it says needs work for his reputation. Should we see if that's still there? Of course it is! Oh no, it's worse! He got worse! Reputation avoid me. So he still does this stuff. I'm gonna leave his name there. I don't care. You can look at it. Let's try this one. Pridal. From Destiny again. You'll see a pattern here. It's always Destiny. Pretty much. A couple Battlefield, but here you go. If your YouTube is as cancerous as your playstyle, that's sad. Is my YouTube playstyle... This one's got me. I can't even speak. Is my YouTube as cancerous as my playstyle, guys? Is my playstyle cancerous? Has your team camped with goldies and sidearms? Which... I mean, we just didn't. I don't know how you camp with golden gun and sidearm particularly, but I just told him to have fun and he said, "K bro." Nice. It's every day, bro. I said it's every day, bro. This one's from For Honor. When I did my early guide to For Honor, I mean, I just picked up a few early tips. And one of them was pushing people off the map, which I agree is annoying. But I of course got the "you're" spelt incorrectly, actual scum spelt incorrectly then. This one, I remember this one. This one was Battlefield, so some of you relate to this. This one went on too long as well. But the highlight was when he said, "In real life, you're a fat virgin." I'm not sure where he pulled that from, because I'm not. But if any of you guys watching are fat virgins, who the hell cares? Who cares? You just do you, bro. Whatever. Just thought about the double entendre in there for "you do you, bro." I mean, the less said about that, the better, maybe. Do you even know "to you are bad"? Uh-huh. Okay. Get skill camper. I mean, these are original, right? Really good. This one was good. Fucking sad noobs. Because you plebs camping one spot like a bunch of hikers. Yeah. Hikers. And I ended with the, I mean, "you're just salty, so I don't really care," because I don't really care. So I was having a little interaction with Mr. FentDog11, and he said, "Bye, have a good time." So I point out that that's not how you spell bye. To which he asked me, "You like the dictionary or summit?" So I said, "You need a dictionary to spell bye," and he said, "Yeah, you." So I said, "Not often." He never responded after that. Now, considering that this is just the last few months as Xbox eventually seems to delete your old messages, and these are nowhere near the best ones I've had, you can only imagine what I've experienced through the years of playing video games. Unfortunately, negative messages form probably 95% of what I receive from random people I come across in lobbies. That's a real shame, so let's just all have some fun, okay? So anyway, that's one part of my struggle. The second part is my practice for Destiny 2, and at first it doesn't really seem apparent how this ties in with what I've just talked about, but stay with me and you'll begin to see the link. So I'm trying to do some of my practice that I talked about in my How to Prepare for Destiny 2 video. This means I'm using pretty average stuff that is going to feature in Destiny 2 in a very similar state, because it means I can practice with it obviously and be used to it when it drops. But it should be worthwhile, because I'll have actual gun skill, which apparently most people don't in this game. They just throw stickies and stuff. But anyway, whatever. So to set the scene, I've just played the game that you've just seen or are seeing highlights of. It had an average game using obviously underpowered weapons compared to everyone else basically, but it goes okay. And then I receive a message which says, "Dude, you need to stop relying on that sidearm." And now you're beginning to see how I'm tying these two problems together. To which I respond with, basically I'm trying to use the stuff that's going to help me practice for Destiny 2. Okay? I get shot back, maybe a primary question mark? Oh, here we go. To which I say, and I'm using a gun called the Parthian Shot. For those of you that don't play Destiny, it's a pulse rifle. They're not great at like super close range, the ones I'm using at least. So I tell him that it's not going to be great at close range, so he says use a hand cannon. Now hand cannons are probably, well I say probably, they are the most powerful primary weapon in the game as far as I'm concerned. So I explain why I'm not using it, and he just says blah 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 blah. So then I play the game. So we get out of the game, and I'm in the middle of typing my response to him, and I get hit with the, why do you have a YouTube name but you're not him? That's always the assumption. I tell him that that is me. And this is, obviously after this is where he begins to change his tune, because people always do once they can put a voice and identity to who you are. Because they've seen your videos online, you're not just a nameless, faceless person anymore that they can abuse. But before that, I pointed out that I'm using one of the least overpowered builds that I possibly can, because I'm practicing for Destiny. I can't speak. And that while he's criticizing my loadout, he's using the most powerful primary weapon type, a sniper with constant ammo, a tracking grenade, and a melee with crazy range. And I ask, why is he so bothered about what I'm using? And then we get to the point where I notice a load of my videos have just been disliked, and I say, you know, I imagine that's you, and I still imagine it was him, even though he goes on to say I don't use a YouTube account. Spoiler alert, those dislikes did disappear a little bit later on, so pretty sure it was him. And then obviously he starts to be pretty nice, starts saying he was trying to help me. He wouldn't dislike my videos and stuff, and he does properly apologise and say that he's having a hard time at school and at home and stuff, and that may well be the case, I don't know. So from here I tell him that, you know, don't worry about it, and I hope things get better for him, because, you know, class is permanent, right? And I ask him permission if I can post this sort of stuff, and he says yes, and it's all good and it's cool. So, if you do work out who he is though, don't like send him hate messages or anything, because he may well be having a tough time. Just send him positive messages, you know, say it was funny what happened, or my cat is jumping at me. Say it's funny what happened, and I hope things get better for you, and blah blah blah, and it's all good. You know, spread some positivity, because I'm doing this all in good fun. I'm just trying to highlight the struggles that come with playing games. The struggle with playing Destiny at the minute is so real, and that the meta in the game makes people mad. People play that game angry, and it's perpetuated by a constant cycle of toxicity. So people get mad and people send messages, and apparently that's just the way gaming works. But it doesn't have to be the case. It really doesn't. So if you're still struggling with Destiny, don't worry, I am too, and I was genuinely pretty good at the game at one point. It's just a mess at the minute. And I'm hoping that with Destiny 2 having a proper meta and skill set to it, or basically I'm hoping I'm going to kick some asses, essentially, and I hope you do too. So let's all try to be better at this. Let's have some fun, let's relax. The teabag in the messages is just not necessary. If you enjoyed the video, show me your positivity, yeah? Like it, subscribe to it, favourite it, etc. All that good stuff. Share it with your friends, make your friends better at the game and as people. I'm making better people. I'm Get Good Guy. And I'll see you next time. Laters.